side.
Oh, right, this Rob is way up. Rocks it and rocks it in Atlanta.
Dang, but he's well away from it. Rose crosses over the fadeaway.
Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time. Windy City Assassin does it again. Stop it. I want to go higher. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's your point guard, Neil. Rose jams in and dunks the ball.
Before the world knew his name, before the MVP chants echoed through arenas, before the heartbreaks and the comebacks, there was just a quiet kid from the south side of Chicago, a boy born into chaos, destined for greatness. His name was Derrick Martell Rose. Derrick Martell Rose was born on October 4th, 1988, in Inglewood, one of the most violent and impoverished neighborhoods on Chicago's south side. Gunshots echoed through the streets like a metronome, and futures were often dictated by zip code rather than ambition. But even in the chaos, hope flickered inside a modest 5-bedroom home shared by Brenda Rose and her 4 sons. Derrick, the youngest, grew up surrounded by love, survival, and a desperate will to rise above it all. Life was far from easy. Brenda worked tirelessly as a single mother, while Derrick's older brothers, Reggie, Dwayne, and Alan, did their best to guide him. 2 of them had already been pulled into the street life, flirting with the fast money that came with drug dealing. But they all made one thing clear. Derrick was different. He wasn't meant for the streets. He was meant for something far greater. The entire neighborhood knew it. Even gang members gave him a pass, not out of fear, but out of reverence. He represented the best of them, their golden ticket out. That belief was forged on the cracked pavement of Murray Park, ominously nicknamed Murder Park due to the number of shootings that occurred there. For most, it was a battlefield. For Derrick, it was a sanctuary. Day after day, he'd lace up his shoes and lose himself in the rhythm of the game. No coaches, no references, just survival and sweat. In that environment, Rose developed a toughness that would later define him, not just physically, but emotionally. By middle school, word had already spread. There was a kid who played like a ghost, slipping through defenses, gliding through air, moving with a grace that felt unreal. Fast, quiet, and fearless, Rose didn't talk much, but his game did all the speaking. He became a local legend before he could drive a car. That legend reached new heights at Simeon Career Academy, where Rose resurrected the school's basketball dynasty. As a junior, he led Simeon to a state championship with a cold-blooded buzzer beater, immediately drawing comparisons to Chicago greats. His senior year was even more dominant. He averaged 25 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, and nearly 4 steals per game. Simeon repeated as state champions, and Derrick finished high school with an astounding 120-12 record. He was courted by every elite college in the country, but Rose chose the University of Memphis. Not for the spotlight, but because Coach John Calipari promised to mold him into an NBA-ready guard. At Memphis, Rose became a national sensation. He led the Tigers to a 26-0 start and a 33-1 regular season record, earning the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. He guided the team to the national championship game, where he posted 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Memphis lost in overtime to Kansas, but Rose's NBA stock skyrocketed. The season was later vacated due to a controversial SAT scandal, an allegation that someone else had taken the test for him. In 2008, the Chicago Bulls had just a 1.7% chance of landing the number 1 pick. First overall pick, but luck, or fate, intervened. Chicago won the lottery and selected Derrick Rose first overall. The prodigal son was coming home. The weight of a city landed on his shoulders, and he welcomed it without flinching. From his very first game, Rose proved he belonged. He averaged 16.8 points, 6.3 assists, and 3.9 rebounds, guiding the Bulls to the playoffs and earning Rookie of the Year honors. But it was the 2009 first-round series against the Boston Celtics that truly introduced him to the world. Rose dropped 36 points in Game 1, tying Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points by a rookie in a playoff debut. The Bulls took the defending champions to 7 games, and a star was born. Over the next 2 seasons, Rose evolved into a force of nature. He became the heart and soul of Chicago's offense, a fearless attacker with a first step that defied physics. No one could stay in front of him. He'd leap off the hardwood like a spring uncoiling, finishing acrobatic layups and thundering dunks through defenders twice his size. But he wasn't just a highlight machine. He was a leader, quiet but driven, stoic but burning with desire. In 2011, Rose led the Bulls to a league-best 62-20 record. He averaged 25 points and 7.7 assists, dominating a league of giants with relentless poise. At just 22 years old, he was named the youngest MVP in NBA history. When asked about it, Rose humbly said, "Why can't I be the MVP?" That question echoed through gyms, playgrounds, and barbershops across the country. He was Chicago's chosen one, a homegrown miracle. But fate has a cruel sense of timing. In the first game of the 2012 playoffs, with the Bulls leading comfortably against the Philadelphia 76ers, Rose went up for a routine drive. He landed awkwardly, fell, and didn't get up. A torn ACL, the reigning MVP was done, and with him, the Bulls' title hopes disappeared. The road back was long and littered with pain. Rose missed the entire 2012 to 2013 season. When he finally returned the following year, fans held their breath. But just 10 games in, disaster struck again. A torn meniscus in his other knee. Another lost season, another surgery, another cruel twist in the story. He returned again in 2015, and though his explosiveness came in flashes, the consistency never did. Still, there were moments, buzzer beaters, clutch playoff games, vintage takeovers that reminded the world of who he used to be. In the 2015 playoffs, Rose delivered a game-winning three-pointer against LeBron James and the Cavaliers in Game 3. He scored 34 in a first-round victory over the Bucks. But the greatness was no longer constant. It had become nostalgic. In 2016, the Bulls made a difficult decision. They traded Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks. The hometown hero was gone. Rose had a decent season in New York, averaging 18 points on 47% shooting. But another meniscus injury derailed the campaign. He signed a minimum deal with Cleveland the following year, hoping to contribute alongside LeBron. Instead, he was injured again. Emotionally drained, Rose stepped away from the team and nearly walked away from the game entirely. He later admitted he was broken, not just physically, but spiritually. But just when it seemed his story had closed, he began writing a new chapter. In 2018, Rose reunited with coach Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota. No longer a star, no longer expected to carry a franchise, just a man trying to reclaim his love for the game. Then came Halloween night. Against the Utah Jazz, Derrick Rose dropped a career-high 50 points. As the final buzzer sounded, he broke down in tears. It wasn't about stats. It wasn't about proving the doubters wrong. It was about surviving. That performance became a symbol of resilience, one of the most emotional nights in NBA history. Over the next few years, Rose reinvented himself. In Detroit, he became one of the league's most efficient bench scorers, averaging 18 points and 5 assists per game. In New York, he mentored a young roster and helped lead them to the playoffs. He finished third in Sixth Man of the Year voting in 2021. He was no longer leaping over defenders, but he didn't need to. He was smarter, more patient, and still deadly when it mattered. In 2023, Rose signed with the Memphis Grizzlies, embracing his final role as a mentor. He quietly retired in 2024 at the age of 35, having played 15 seasons in the NBA. Today, Derrick Rose lives a quieter life. He's married to Elena Anderson, and together they're raising their children away from the spotlight. Family has become his new purpose. He's active in philanthropy, investing in youth programs and real estate ventures in Chicago. His book, I'll Show You, offers an intimate look into his journey through fame, injury, and personal growth, serving as both memoir and motivation. Though he never won an NBA championship, and his prime was cut painfully short, Derrick Rose's legacy is anything but tragic. He remains one of the greatest what-if stories in basketball history, but also one of the greatest examples of resilience, evolution, and heart. Because legends aren't always defined by rings or records. Sometimes they're defined by how many times they stood back up. And Derrick Rose never stopped rising.